Hello, welcome back to the house. We're still in the dining room. I wish we could sit down at the table and I could give you something to eat, but we're not able to do that right now. But I can give you a word of encouragement. Now, some of the words I've been using, not necessarily that encouraging. When this pandemic's got going, I was like, this is crazy, this is weird, this is strange, this is bizarre. And then it moved to, wait a minute, this is making me uneasy, this is uncomfortable. This is now moving into the realm of worrisome. This is dangerous, this is extremely serious. And I got to thinking, well, why would I use words like that? What's going on in my life that I use words like that? I'm thinking. That's a lot of thinking, isn't it? I think I'm thinking somehow I have control of my life. And when something like COVID-19 comes along, it wakes me up to the reality. I don't really have control of my life. And it doesn't take a virus, something that's not even living, something that has to have a host to even survive and reproduce and move forward. It doesn't take a virus. There's all kinds of things that can wake us up to the reality we don't have control. And once we wake up to that reality that I'm not actually totally in control of my life, we can get really scared. We can get very anxious because the future, who knows? It can be pending doom. And so we get very, very scared. Even despair sets in. We get down and it's gloomy. And we can even move to hopelessness quickly. But that's where the believer, you and me, we have a different perspective on this. We know that we're going to go through tough times, but we have a God that has promised to never leave us and never forsake us, to go through everything with us. In the Old Testament, he talks to Joshua and he says, I will go ahead of you and I will be with you. I will never leave you and I will never forsake you. Do not be dismayed. Don't fear. Don't fear. But move forward because I'm going to bring about my promises. He says that to the whole nation. He says that to Joshua. And then in the New Testament, we come along, and the writer of the letter we call Hebrews, in chapter 13, he uses that very same promise, and he pulls it out, and he says it applies to us as believers in Jesus Christ today. That we have a God that is in control. He goes ahead of us. And he is also with us. And so therefore, we don't have to fear. He quotes I will never leave you and I will never forsake you. And it's right in the context of continuing to love, continuing to be hospitable, continue to be faithful to your relationships. Don't get caught up in loving the security of money. No, it is your God that will get you through everything. And so as a believer, we pull that into practice. And the Hebrew writer goes on right after that and he quotes Psalm 118. He says, therefore you don't have to fear anything that can happen to you. No, God is our helper. So practice taking this promise to God, to your own mind, but just tell God, thank you for promising you never leave me, never forsake me. Thank you for saying you always be there. Now I wish that he would just take it all away. But he has promised to go through and promised to fulfill his promises. So we can continue to trust him. We can continue to put our hope in him because he is going to bring about our good. He's going to bring about everything and bring it to the right conclusion. And he's going to continue to love and we can continue to love. Those are words of encouragement to me. I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. So let me leave you with this. May the God who has promised to never leave you or forsake you plant that promise deep within you. And may it rise to the forefront of your thinking so that you can be filled with the strength and the courage you need to do what you need to do as you go forward.